Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday the 5th, and...
I'm Russ Martin, and this is Community Service Radio.
Which is pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, guys.
How are you tonight?
I am excellent.
So, Tim Ritalica, I had to do that, Tim. It just sounded good. I love this
Well,
man.
he is Tim Ritalica.
He is.
Not Metallica, but Ritalica.
They're a trio, and they're really kind of cool. I really
We're
like
a family band.
They are a family band.
Yep.
It's kind of groovy. Okay, so what were we just talking about? We were talking about the debate.
The vice presidential debate.
It was unreal. I've never seen... I felt like Pence was like presidential. He was... The dude he's obviously had a lot of radio experience. He was kind, he was courteous the entire time, yet firm. He's really good at asserting himself. And Kane, on the other hand, was filleting his arms in the air, screaming like a little baby, and interrupting. He interrupted more than 70 times, 76 times or something like that. Unreal.
So someone had a clicker.
Someone did have a clicker. Yeah, it was Mike Gallagher.
Yeah.
Mike Gallagher counted all of this stuff, and it was unreal. And the moderator interrupted so many times it was unreal. Interrupted Kane one time, and every other time she interrupted the man that was really the winner. Hands
Quite
down.
vociferously, from what I heard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she would just, like you said, she was, no. It
was one of those things, yeah.
But now, it was because he was getting on the topics that he would answer a question and then lead off into what he wanted to say.
He needed to because, well, often the questions that were asked him were kind of difficult to answer. They were really screwy. And he would lead into something that made sense.
Right.
And anytime he led into anything that made sense, she would stop him and would not stop talking over him. And they both were talking over him. And all it did was make them look really bad. Really, really bad.
Well, Hugh Hewitt, Mike Gallagher...
Yeah.
Everybody that I heard on talk radio today, Leland Conway, Pence won it hands down.
Hands down. He got an A+ on this thing. Hands down. Yeah.
Not if you listen to Michael Medved.
Well, Michael Medved...
I did not get to hear him this afternoon.
He is our least favorite radio
Oh, he's
host.
supposed to be the
terrible.
most popular, though.
He's not. He's popular in his own mind. And that's how I feel about him. I give him this. Yeah.
He said today on the air he might vote for Hillary.
He should vote for Hillary and join that party because he's faking us all out. If he's trying to make us think that he's Republican,
he's
not.
about the most liberal conservative I've ever listened to. And if you don't believe me, listen to his show.
Mm-hmm. And the most establishment.
Oh yeah, big time establishment, and they also get.
He's a I don't know,
It's hard to put it into words. I'm not pleased with him at all. I don't listen to his show. Now, let me tell you guys something. Since Fox was like taken over, they're getting ugly. And
ugly in which direction? Ugly in appeasement or ugly in
ugly as in anti-Trump and pro-establishment.
Well, they've always been.
Yeah, well, now they're really showing the colors more. I don't know, I'm not really pleased with it.
All those television is all liberal. They're all Democrats.
Yeah.
Why? I don't get it. I don't understand that there's so many people there that are supposedly so intelligent and sensible that who are not. They don't want to listen to the facts, the logic.
Yeah, they're opposite.
The economics. What?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Yeah, they really don't have their stuff together.
One woman I know in particular, who shall remain nameless here.
Okay.
I actually got her to start listening to some conservative principles. It's like she was talking about I was talking about regulation, government regulation, and how it gets in the way of our country. And she thought that I was for no regulation at all. None. Everybody could just run roughshod over each other.
That's crazy.
And I said, no.
It's a land of laws.
No. Regulations to keep people safe are one thing.
Yeah.
Regulations to make sure that this guy wins and this guy loses or something else. And she actually started listening.
Wow.
And I thought I was making it, but over the course of our conversations, it was like a rubber band being stretched farther and farther and farther, and suddenly it just snapped. And suddenly she was back to square one and actually doubling down on the leftist, not even Democrat, but leftist ideology.
Oh, yeah. It's bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news. Hey, weren't you telling a story outside? I missed it. I'm jealous.
Yeah, Russ and I were looking at the sky. We've got a very interesting sky going on there.
My daughter knows clouds.
Tonight,
and we were talking about altitude of clouds and all that.
Yeah, and how we look up and how high are those clouds. And I was saying there's no way to tell. And the reason I know this is way back when, once upon a time, I was a student pilot. Flying out of a little tiny airstrip, not even an airport, an airstrip in Enterprise, Alabama.
Enterprise.
Yes, Alabama. And it was a very...
I've been there.
That's where the Boll Weevil Monument is.
I was there once. It was closed, I believe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So anyhow, this was a little, it wasn't even a flight school. It was a little trailer that a few flight instructors worked out of. And students could actually go there on a day when no one else was there and check out some keys. Like I said, I don't remember whether they were in a lockbox or the trailer was unlocked. But I went out there to get a little bit of practice in. And I thought, well, I could call for a weather briefing from the weather service. But I was a student pilot. I was intimidated. I didn't really want to spend that time. So I just looked at the clouds. I said, yep, they're good. We're good. So I took the plane out, taxied into the runway, took off. At 500 feet above the ground, I entered the clouds.
500 feet.
For the first time in my young life.
Oops.
Luckily...
How old were you?
Oh no, I was 24 years old.
Okay,
somewhere in there. But I did the right thing. I pushed the yoke forward, immediately exit the clouds just the same way I entered them, and did what they call scud running around the pattern. Landed the plane, put away the keys, and drove away, hoping no one would ever figure out what I had done.
I'm going home now.
Exactly. So you cannot tell from looking at clouds how high they are off the ground.
You can get a general idea because some clouds, the formations, you know, what altitude they're generally at.
The type of cloud.
My daughter took that, and my son, of course, in school they learned that, and I thought I was a little impressed by them because they remembered it.
Yeah.
And then we'll be driving down the highway, and Madison will say, "You know what kind of cloud that is, Dad?" And it's an cumulus or something, whatever it was, you know. And she would talk about that, and I was kind of impressed. And I was telling Tim that, and then. These formations of geese were flying over. And what was you saying about the geese, Tim?
Well, I said when you see a flock of geese flying overhead in a V formation, have you ever noticed that one side of the formation is almost always a little longer than the other?
I have noticed that.
Yes. Do you know why that is?
No, we don't know.
No, I don't know why that is.
It's because there's more geese on that side.
That's funny. That's never going funny.
I wonder how many people remember that one.
There's more geese on the other side.
That gets an A+. You had another story. You said you had a better story for us.
Well, I don't know if we want to take up the show with my flying stories, but I don't mind telling it.
We're listening.
Flying is good.
Yeah. One summer, I took a job flying a charter plane out of Nantucket Island.
Ooh.
And, oh, boy, was that an adventure. Okay.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You're the pilot of a charter plane. Now, how big was the plane and how many passengers and all that?
6 people. My plane could hold 6 people.
Did you have a co-pilot in this deal?
No, it was...
Flight attendant?
Tim was pilot and co-pilot.
And flight attendant, no doubt.
He'd put it on autopilot and come out with a tray.
When I got hired by this company... Right, it was our airfield was actually in New Bedford, Massachusetts, across the strait from Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket Island.
Oh wow!
And when I got hired, and they gave me the keys to my plane, and I took off of Nantucket, headed for New Bedford, I realized 2 seconds after I took off that this was the first time I had ever taken off alone in a multi-engine airplane.
Oh,
yeah. So,
cool.
But anyhow, there is a little book. It's a little green book the FAA publishes. It's called the Airport Facility Directory. It's published in regions, several state in one volume, and it contains everything you need to know about every airport in America. Okay.
In that one small book.
Yes.
So in that one small book
is everything you could ever want.
Just like campgrounds, whether they have facilities or not, and all that, right?
Book,
running water.
Right? Yeah.
So anyhow, it's not a sexy little book. It's kind of boring, kind of bland. But I learned the lesson about why you need to look in this book every single time. I was given the assignment of flying a young couple from Nantucket up to this little town called North Adams in the far northwest corner of Massachusetts. And it was an uncontrolled airport, meaning no control tower. It was more like an airstrip, like the one. So anyhow, the weather was looking kind of iffy. Okay, but I took off anyway because your boss doesn't react too well to you saying, "No, I don't want to go." I don't want to go. So we took off into this sky that looked a lot like this one we've got out here tonight, only there were towering cumulus rising all the way around. Okay, so we're flying on, and I don't have a radar, but I've got what's called a storm scope, which is this little round thing. It is an overhead view of your situation with your plane in the very center.
Cool.
And it doesn't tell you where the thunderstorms are, but it tells you where the lightning strikes are.
Nice.
And it started little spots, little X's started lighting up all over my storm scope.
Oh, my.
Including all of a sudden there was this big one right in the middle, which is where I am. Right? But I'm not seeing any of these, but it's just the clouds are looking meaner and meaner all the time.
Yeah.
At one point, another airplane was talking to air traffic control, wanted to come up my way. And they asked me what I was seeing. And I was telling them towering cumulus in all quarters.
Yeah.
And towering cumulus is bad.
Yeah.
They're developing thunderstorms is what they are.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're talking Bermuda Triangle stuff.
Yeah. So the sky got darker. The sky got closer. The sky got meaner the farther we went. And at one point I said, I was looking at my charts, and I noticed that there was a controlled airport with a control tower 30 miles south of our destination. So I turned to my passengers. I said, okay, this is our new plan. This controlled airport is our destination.
Yeah.
If we get there and things look good, we'll go on to our destination. If not, you can get a cab from there on. Okay?
Oh, that works.
And they agreed. Of course, they're,
sure.
Passengers are big on safety.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we finally were approaching this controlled airport, and I was pretty concerned at that point. As a matter of fact, I called air traffic control up and got an instrument flight clearance into this controlled airport. Okay.
Yeah.
And we got up there, and the visibility, the cloud conditions were good for landing at that airport, and we did. And they got a cab on their destination. I flew back to Nantucket. That was that.
Everything was groovy.
Until 2 days later, when I was giving the assignment of going and retrieving the same couple, bringing them back to Nantucket. Bright, sunny, cloudless day. And I'm flying beautiful countryside, and I get to this little airport, North Adams, and I find that it is in a little valley between the two tallest mountains in the Berkshires.
Oh, man.
I had to fly my traffic pattern twice the normal height to get in there.
Oh, wow.
So, what would have happened if the weather had been clear 2 nights before? And I had not read the airport facility directory and did not know about these two mountains.
Oh, my. You may not have.
I would have flown right into the side of the mountain in the middle of the night, and I would be dead right now.
Another Kennedy situation. Yeah.
Yes. So
that's a pretty good story.
That is the story of how bad weather saved my life.
It did save your life. Wow.
My son would never have been born. My wife would be a widow.
Oh, man.
So all you fledgling pilots out there, read the airport facility directory.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, Tim, thanks for that story.
Thank you.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, did I say go Trump yet?
Go Trump.
Go Trump.
Go Trump.
That's right. And Pence.
Oh,
Trump
and
Pence.
especially Pence.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah.
Well, Trump has said that he's going to put all the professionals that he can find around him, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's right on. Yeah, of course you're right on.
You're right on.
No, you're right on.
I think you're both right on.
I think we're all right on. And with that said, everyone say goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.